Even though you can cause your riches to come to you out of the formless substance, which permeates all of your environment, it does not follow that your fortune will immediately take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. If you want a sewing machine, for instance, I would suggest that before you impress the thought of a sewing machine on the thinking substance, you first make sure the image of that machine is clearly formed in your mind. If you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with the most positive certainty that it is being made or is on its way to you. After once forming the thought, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think of it or speak of it without feeling confident that it will arrive. Claim it as already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence, acting upon the mind of mankind. If you live in Maine, it may be that a person will be brought from Texas or Japan to engage in some transaction which will result in you getting what you want. If so, the whole matter will be as much to that person's advantage as it is to yours. Do not forget for a moment that the thinking substance is in everything, communicating with everything, and able to influence everything. The desire of the thinking substance for more life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines that has ever been made, and it can cause the creation of millions more, and it will do so whenever people set it into motion by desire and faith and by acting in the certain way. You can certainly have a sewing machine in your house. You can have anything you want as long as you use it for the advancement of your own life and the lives of others. You need not hesitate asking largely. It is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. The original substance wants to live as much as possible in you. It wants you to have all that you can or will use for the living of the most abundant life. Your faith becomes invincible if you fix upon your consciousness the fact that the desire you feel for the possession of riches is one with the desire of the supreme power for more complete expression. Once I saw a little boy sitting at a piano and vainly trying to bring harmony out of the keys. I saw that he was grieved and provoked by his inability to play real music. I asked him why he was unhappy, and he answered, "I can feel the music in me, but I can't make my hands go right." The music in him was the urge of the original substance, containing all the possibilities of all life. All that there is of music was seeking expression through the child. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do and enjoy things through humanity. He is saying, I want hands to build wonderful structures, to play divine harmonies, to paint glorious pictures. I want feet to run my errands, eyes to see my beauties, tongues to tell my mighty truths, and to sing marvelous songs. All that is possible is seeking expression through human beings. God wants those who can play music to have the instruments they need to have the means to cultivate their talents to their fullest extent. He wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. He wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and observe. He wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed and those who can appreciate good food to be luxuriously fed. He wants all these things because he enjoys and appreciates them. It is God who wants to play and sing and enjoy beauty and proclaim truth and wear fine clothes and eat good foods. It is God that worketh in you to will and to do. The desire you feel for riches is in the infinite, seeking to express himself in you as he sought to find expression in the little boy at the piano. You need not hesitate to ask largely. Your part is to focus and express the desires of God. This is the difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self sacrifice are pleasing to God. They look upon poverty as part of the plan, as a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished his work and has made all that he can make, that the majority of humanity must stay poor because there is not enough to go around. People hold on to this erroneous thought so much that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more, then they have a very modest competence, just enough to make them fairly comfortable. I recall now the case of one student who was told that he must see in his mind a clear picture of the things he desired, so that the creative thought of them might be impressed on the formless substance. He was a very poor man, living in a rented house and have only what he earned from day to day. He could not grasp the fact that all wealth was his. Therefore, after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for a new rug for the floor of his best room and anthracite coal stove to heat the house during the cold weather. Following the instructions given in this book, he obtained these things in a few months. Then it dawned upon him that he had not asked enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he would like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window here and a room there. He continued until it was complete in his mind and his ideal home, and then he planned its furnishings. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in a certain way and moving toward what he wanted. He owns the house now and is rebuilding it according to his mental image. Now, with still larger faith, he is proceeding to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith, and it is so with you and with all of us. That is an excerpt from, again, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. I recommended that book last episode that we did. But hey, we are on day 7 of our 90-day challenge, right? Everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. Visualization is more than just daydreaming. It is a powerful tool for achieving your goals, for connecting with your purpose, and preparing yourself for success. When we start to visualize, we're setting the stage for growth, resilience, and, of course, alignment with the life we're called to live. Just like it just said in The Science of Getting Rich, the man went through and planned every part of his house. He didn't just stop at the stove and the rug. He went through and changed all the rooms. He visualized the entire image and held the whole picture in his mind. And that's exactly what this is saying. You know, when we visualize, we're setting the stage for growth. All we have to do when it comes to visualization is hold a clear, definite mental picture. So, as you can see, today we're diving into the power of visualization. This practice doesn't just clarify your goals, it primes your brain for achievement. It helps you build confidence and strengthens your connection to purpose. We're going to explore other things like what happens in the mind during visualization. We're going to talk about some practical steps and how it can help you stay on track and focused no matter the circumstances or challenges that pop up in your day-to-day life. Visualization helps you get specific about your goals. When you create a mental image of success, you're clarifying not only what you want, but also why it matters to you. This clarity gives you purpose to each action that you're taking. Now, visualization hasn't always been something I've done. Now, I've done it unconsciously and been able to bring things into my life over the past couple years, but visualization is something that I've recently been implementing and making a practice on a daily basis. Um, the person that I really started to take this dead serious from was Joe Dispenza. Now, this book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace C. Wattles, obviously talks about visualization and the importance of it. Another one of my main mentors, the person that I go to on a daily basis for advice, for guidance and counseling, is Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor also talks about visualization. Now, he talks about it from the aspect of having a clearly defined goal, but in a sense, that is exactly what visualization is. You can't have visualization without having a clearly defined something. Like I said, visualization is forming the mental picture and having a clear mental picture. The clarity of this gives purpose into each action that we take. So when I was starting to get into visualization, it was because Joe Dispenza was talking about a theory that I had heard a few years ago, and the theory is called the uh, I might butcher this, but the double slit experiment. That's it, the double slit experiment. Now, what the double slit experiment is, go look it up, because if you just take my explanation off of this, I'm probably going to butcher it. However, um, particles take form when we're giving focus to them. When we're not focusing on the particles that are being, in this example, they were being shot from a thing and the particles were taking form through the slit. So what they did is they did two slits and the particles formed up perfectly from the two slits. But when they stopped focusing on it, they made a whole different array of lines. Anyways, for a better example of that, just go look it up and find the animated video of the double slit experiment. That is the best example of it. Just because, like, if I can find an animated video to better explain something to me, I will. Anyhow, particles take form when we give focus to things. And then I heard Joe Dispenza talk about this also when he was talking about meditation, when he said that energy can exist in more than one place at the same time. And that's exactly what popped in my head when he said it. Was, again, energy can exist in more than one place at the same time. So you can be here in the physical, but you can be creating your reality in another, for instance, dimension or a different reality. We now know that there's not just one dimension or two dimensions, there's three dimension, right? You can watch a 3D movie, brings out a whole different reality. You can watch a 2D movie, pretty flat and boring. But now we know there's like fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, where there's so many more different parts of life, as well as, we're 99.9% energy and 0.001% matter, which goes to show that the 0.0001% matter that we consist of is where we actually live a majority of our life, right? That's where our physical senses exist: taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing. And when we can go outside of those faculties and exist in the 99.9%, right, energy, light, we have so much more potential to create. Just to make a short story long, I guess, in this situation, right? But also, it's quoted in scripture: for we live by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Visualization helps us live by faith, seeing in our minds what we hope for and giving thanks for, even when it's not yet visible. That's scripture, right? Again, for we live by faith, not by sight. It's being having visualization and giving thanks for those things ahead of time is the creation of faith in that situation. It is, uh, again, even when it's not yet visible. Now, there's two faculties that humans draw from, theological and scientific, right? So here's the scientific side. Visualization activates the brain's reward centers. It releases dopamine, which is, by the way, a feel-good chemical, which I'm sure everyone knows by now because of the 1,000 books and podcasts that have come out around dopamine, right? The feel-good chemical that motivates you towards your goals. And when you visualize yourself achieving something, your brain reacts as if it's already happening, which creates momentum and motivation. Now, I've heard that so many times, but it never clicked until this year, right? Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's fake. Um, if you write down something on a card and read it often enough, your brain is going to believe it's true. Same thing with the visualization, though. Your brain cannot tell the distinction. That's why they say like self-talk is so important, because your brain can't distill between the difference of a joke or something being serious. And I say that because your brain is no more you than your fingernail, right? Your brain is just an instrument. Your spirit and your soul is where you as the person exists. That's where you have your sense of humor, your loving, your character, your morals, your values exist within the spiritual. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience. So your brain is no more you than your fingernail is, right? They both, I mean, obviously have different functions, but like you get the point. So your brain does not know the difference between what is real and what's not. That is not you. It is just an instrument, and you have to learn how to program that instrument correctly. So in the program of it, again, it does not know the distinction between what is real and what is not. So you can take advantage of that and hijack the system that is already in place. Again, you already have a perfect system lying within you, but it is up to you to learn how to take advantage of it. So each morning, close your eyes and spend a few moments visualizing yourself reaching your goal or a goal. Picture the setting, feeling the emotions, right? How do you feel when you achieve the goal? Think of an empowering moment in your life, right? For me, there's a time when I was a senior in high school. I made this crazy save as a goalkeeper. And I just remember getting up and just pounding my chest and feeling so empowered in that moment. Those are those emotions that I anchor to that picture that I'm feeling, right? So the picture, the setting, I feel the emotion, I anchor it with something I've experienced where I was empowered, and then I notice the details around me. It's the little stuff that goes a long way. This mental practice helps set a positive tone and it strengthens your focus. Remember, it's not about getting it right, it's about the repetition. Also, though, visualization primes your mind for success. When you are vividly imagining yourself succeeding, you're reinforcing the belief that it's possible. Again, it's the self-talk, except within the mental image. Okay? When you're vividly imagining yourself succeeding, you're reinforcing the belief that it is possible. Your brain does not know the distinction. Take advantage of that system that is already pre-built into your body. This mental rehearsal builds confidence, it builds the resilience, and it helps you overcome the fear and self-doubt because, again, you're overriding it with belief. What is it that you're focusing on? Again, we talked about this yesterday some in day 6 where focus goes, energy flows. But what if you're spending more time focusing on the mental image that you want versus the things that you don't want? Think about all the little effects that that's going to have in your day-to-day life. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. Visualization is an act of faith. Let me say this scripture again for you, okay? Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Visualization is an act of faith. You're walking on faith every single time that you're visualizing. Some people are like, how do I have more faith? And there's a simple thing you can do right there by visualizing the outcome that you want and not being tied down by circumstances. Don't let your imagination be limited by your current circumstances. Your creativity, the gift given to you by God, does not come with a limitation. If you have a limitation upon your creativity, it's one that you've self-inflicted upon yourself. Creating belief in our goals before they're achieved, again, is the act of faith. It's giving thanks before the thing has come in the physical. Just because it's not here in the physical does not mean it's not already done and it hasn't been accomplished. If that's faith in a whole, it's the evidence of things believing, the evidence of things not seen, right? So giving thanks for the thing before it has physically taken place in our life. That verse is literally talking about visualization in a sense. And look, studies show that the brain doesn't distinguish much between real and imagined experiences. Again, when you visualize success, you're creating neural pathways, right? Those little branches inside the brain, they start to link out and form new neural connections, similar to those formed by actual practice. You know, there's a study done where they had these guys where they visualize themselves working out every single day versus a person actually working out. And the people that visualize themselves working out still increased in strength. How crazy is that? You know, there's even more things where, like, they did a study on some people that for shooting basketball, they had some people go practice every single day for an hour a day for a week. That's how I should say with that. Shooting 3 points or shooting free throws. And then they had one group only visualize. So they had a group visualize and practice, a group practice, and then a group that only visualized. And the group that only visualized, when they went and tested, were the ones that improved the most. Insane. That's the power that visualization has. It's again making you more prepared and confident when the moment comes to execute on it. If you're preparing for a presentation, visualize yourself speaking with confidence and clarity. Picture the audience responding positively. This type of rehearsal helps reduce anxiety in your life, and you'll be more likely to perform well because your mind has already been there. If you have a game coming up, if you have a presentation at work, if you are stepping into a new role, a new position at work, I want you to be visualizing the success of that thing, right? Because rehearsal of that situation is going to reduce the anxiety or the nerves when it comes time to perform. And visualization is most effective when it's a consistent practice. This is something that you need to do. I'm not even going to hit you with every day, but you need to do it consistently, right? Build up that muscle. If you've never done visualization before, make it 3 to 4 times a week. 3 to 4 times a week for 20 minutes. Visualize. And what you'll notice is that you feel so much better after your visualization that you'll want to do it more often. The more often that you visualize your goals, the stronger your belief, and then the stronger the commitment to achieving these things. This consistency builds and helps with you staying aligned even through the setbacks that will come up. And let us not grow weary for doing good. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Consistent visualization is like planting seeds in your mind. And with time and persistence, they bear fruit. I'm just going to repeat that scripture and we're going to break it down again. And let us not grow weary of doing good, right? Don't grow weary of the visualization of the practice that you're implementing. For in due season, we will reap. What it's saying is, again, even though it's not here in the physical, it's not here in the flesh, those things are already done. It's just a matter of time when they reach you. The stronger your belief and commitment to achieving them, sorry, it, I just read that read up a line. It if we do in due season we will reap, and if we do not give up. So again, don't give up just because the results aren't there. Give thanks. Give thanks in all things, for it is already done. Dedicate yourself 5 or 10 minutes each day to visualize this, right? Choose a quiet time, like I said, like 15 minutes, 3 days a week, and do it like in the afternoon, in the morning, before bed. And if you're saying, like, I'm not the type of person that can do visualization, here's another trick. This is something I've done. I made myself a meditation of me talking to myself, right? Because I'm more susceptible to hearing my voice. Okay. I'm literally speaking life over myself through my meditation I made. I sat down, recorded it on my computer. You can do it on your phone, computer, or whatever it is. And just add some meditation music, right? There's plenty of video editing apps. Find a free meditation music off of Pixabay and add it to the thing and just listen to it when it comes time. And look, this visualization technique, it's not meant to be a walk in the park. It's, of course, if it's new, it's not going to be easy. Just because it's new, there's going to be some level of difficulty that comes with it. And the fact that your brain is all over the place when you sit down to do your visualization means that it's working. The Again, it's like a blinker. It's on and it's off. It's on and it's off. It's on and it's off. The fact that it's on and off is the fact that it's working. Same thing with visualization. Just because like you're back and you're forth and you're good and you're on and you're off. This the fact. That's your sign that your visualization is working, as crazy as that sounds. So when it comes time to do it, just include as many senses as possible. Imagine what you see, what you hear, what you feel. For one of mine, like I'm sitting down in this massive Airbnb with all of my family during a holiday. I'm sitting at this huge table, and it's this nice wood oak table, and I can feel it in my hands, and the sun's coming through these giant windows, and I can feel the warmth of the sun on the table from where it's been there. I'm hearing familiar voices, so like my family joking around in the background, right? I can hear like my brother laughing and talking to my cousins, messing with them. I can hear my mom and dad talking to my aunt and uncle. The smell of the barbecue on the grill, the fresh air coming through the house, all those senses that I'm engaging, it's not just adding random things, it's help building a complete picture. Remember, in the science of getting rich, the guy said he formed a clear mental picture. He went to each room, repainted it, designed it exactly how it was going to look, and held that picture until the formless substance made form of the thing. Connect with these feelings of achieving your goal. Feel again like I anchored those emotions. I felt the pride. What was a time you felt prideful in your life? Like you were really proud of yourself for doing something small or big. What the times you've experienced joy, right? For me, if I want to feel joy in my body, I literally anchor the emotion of me driving back home. There's like these back roads back home out in the middle of nowhere, an hour out of town, like this small country gas station with like one pump. I would stop in there. I would go get like a Coke and like some type of chips, and I'd fill up my car and I would drive for hours and drive till my gas tank was on empty, windows down, just me listening to nothing but George Strait and 80s and 70s country music. And that right there is just, I can feel the joy because I just remember riding down the road smiling and laughing, and I can still feel the breeze of my hand and the sunroof open. Like, yo, listen to that. I'm literally painting the picture of joy, anchoring that. So when I want to feel joy in my later visualization exercises, I pull that out of the hat. And gratitude as if it's happening right now. When I'm feeling those emotions, I'm giving thanks because I know I'm going to feel that again and again and again. Your emotions reinforce neural pathways. I'm making neural connections by anchoring those emotions with the visualization that I'm holding so that the divine substance can make use of that. It's forming neural pathways, making your brain more likely to remember and act on what you visualize. Wow, guys. Visualize, right? Um, if I'm forming neural connections inside of my brain that strong, it's going to be easier for me when I write down my goals on a goal card. It's just helping instead of just relying on a string of words to bring something like to bear fruit. Just a string of words, I'm painting a clearly defined picture so that the divine substance can work upon those things. So today, I challenge you to spend a few minutes visualizing one specific goal using the tips that I just shared with you, right? The sensory details, that how, like, where you're at. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it hot? Can you smell the air? What type of air? Are there mountains? Are there trees? Are there leaves falling? Are there bugs? Is it nighttime? Are the stars out? Is someone playing a guitar? Right? Connect with like the emotions. What emotions? And when you think of the emotions that you would feel them in your body. Think of an empowering time of you having use of that similar emotion, and then anchor it to that experience. You're doing nothing but really anchoring in that and forming that neural connection in your brain. This is a practice that aligns you with your purpose and prepares you to act on it. Look, visualization is a powerful bridge between the mind and reality. When you consistently create this mental picture of success, you're setting yourself up to pursue it with faith, with purpose, building that resilience. Because each time you visualize, you're bringing yourself one step closer to making that thing a reality. Now, look, this is something I didn't really take serious when I first got started into self development, but it's something I've been taking very, very serious this year. And I've been doing this for 5 years now, where I've studied each day a minimum of 2 to 6 hours of self development, making a study, right? Mastering material, really making use of these things, because this is, where I want to spend my life ultimately, is coaching, teaching, helping. And for me to do so, I have to make this a life study. Anyways, I wish I had used this earlier, where I know the power and the impact it would have made, because I've seen the shift it's made in my life now. Like the synchronicities, the things like that pop into my day-to-day life. the environment must give way to the greater force at hand. That's just a law, right? That's, I'm pretty sure, like maybe physics or something. I don't know. But take this serious. Give it a shot. And don't beat yourself up, because I was not good at this when I started. But here's the thing. There's a difference between being good at something and being consistent, because you can have someone who's naturally talented at something but isn't consistent. They're going to be okay. But you can have someone who's not good at something but consistent. They're going to be great. And then you have the freaks in nature, right, where they're good at something and they're consistent. They're going to be unbeatable. That's life right there in a nutshell, y'all. But I appreciate you. This was day 7. I'm so glad that we're recording these episodes. I'm getting so much out of them. And thank you to every single one of you that listens to these podcasts. I really appreciate, I mean, I am sincerely meaning that. I really appreciate every single one of you that tune in along the week. And I can't wait to see where this goes by the end of our 90 days. All right. Till tomorrow. Peace.